My name's MJ, I go by MJX Music, and I've created a hip-hop EP that's been co-produced by artificial intelligence. Growing up as a kid, I've always loved music, but my love for hip-hop stemmed out of the cards I was handed as a kid. My father was incarcerated when I was 13. We had to sell our house, cars, mom had to find out how to get a new job. Music was extremely therapeutic for me, and because of this, I started rapping. So when creating music, I would get butterflies in my stomach when I knew I made the right song. And on the other hand, when working with technology, whether it was automating a process or writing a piece of code, I would always get an internal feeling of creativity and inspiration in a similar way I would when making music. Fast forward all these years later, and I still love both these topics. After speaking with a mentor of mine, they challenged me to figure out a way to combine both of these passions, which I took seriously. I went on a quest of understanding how can artificial intelligence help me create a hip-hop beat that not only has a little bit of rhythm or bop to it, but is something I'd be proud of releasing to the world as my music. And huge shout out to the Google Magenta team for helping make this possible. Before I move on, let me just quickly state, AI will never and should never replace musicians and producers. It should only inspire and co-create. Alright, let's get back to it. For my process, I use a science called machine learning. The simple concept is what you put in is what you get out. So while people may be intimidated and say, AI made this song, that's weird, or whatever it may be, I want to respond and say, my project only contained data that either I created myself or my friend producers have shared with me. So it truly is a collection of our minds coming together rather than a random robot just outputting sounds that came out of nowhere. That being said, shout out to my homies B Kim, West, and 100 Gram for helping contribute to my dataset to train my AI model. Once I successfully had a trained AI model, all I had to do was hit enter, and I could have hundreds of brand new melodies and drum beats in the matter of seconds. Once the MIDI files are outputted, this is where the producer hat comes fully on. After a few hours of collecting my favorite melodies and drum beats, I could lay down a skeleton track of what the song could sound like, choosing the instruments, the arrangement, and so forth. For this EP, I collaborated with two extremely talented producers. Shout out to my boy Ruby and my boy 100 Gram. Each of these guys helped staple together a lot of these tracks. And shout out to my boy John Paul on the mix and mastering. I really could not have done this without their help. Once the beat is mostly laid out and starting to sound right with the sounds, arrangement, and some other elements, it's time for me to begin writing. This is just me being a human and talking about my life. And for this EP, I'm getting really personal about my life. I felt like it was extremely important to juxtapose the artificial intelligence inspiration with my personal story that's ingrained in my soul. I also wanted to pay tribute to the genre of hip-hop that's given me so much, and contribute back to it in a way that I know right now. I also hope this inspires more folks to get into technology. I know hip-hop and technology cannot seem like they're more opposite, but I'm here to say that technology can be cool and it does have a place within hip-hop. I'm so grateful for mentors who pushed me to get into it, and I'm hoping that this project, if anything, can be that mentor for someone else. And let me finish up by saying, artificial intelligence will never replace humans in music, and it never should.